How are you doing, Superbrain? I want to applaud you for being here and for playing full out and for also having the persistence. I believe to have an incredible super brain, you need growth and you need grit. And what is, growth? Obviously, you are committed to growing. That's why you're tuning in every single day. But grit is how to overcome adversity. So what are we going to learn today? Today, we're going to begin our quest for mastering these things called numbers. Numbers, because it really is the universal language out there, because everyone speaks different languages, but we all have this commonality of digits and numbers. Now, why are numbers important? Because they're everywhere. They're ubiquitous. They're everywhere. I mean, think about phone numbers. How many phone numbers did you used to remember years ago? Years ago. Dozens. All of them. That's how many numbers you remembered. All of them. How many numbers do you remember right now? One, maybe two. And it's not that you want to memorize hundreds of phone numbers, but we've lost the capacity just to remember one number. What about passwords? What about PIN numbers? You go to the ATM and you're like, what was that number for here? And birthdays, dates, anniversaries. When you travel, you need flight numbers, you need hotel numbers. There's numbers everywhere. Money, finances, everything is numbers, right? And so the challenge is, do you remember numbers? Most people don't, and I'll tell you why. It's not your fault. First of all, you weren't taught how to remember numbers. And number two, it's abstract. Like if I say 7491, I mean, how is that any different than 7493, right? It's very abstract. And when something's abstract, it's hard to get a grasp of it, right? Hard to see it clearly, and it makes it very hard to remember it. Now, even if you're good with numbers, this is gonna make you better. So in this lesson and the lesson tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to become a master with numbers. So you could go and memorize pi, 3.14159, and you can memorize whether it's 100 digits or 20,000 digits or 5 digits. We got you covered, okay? Now first, I want to talk about the basics of remembering numbers. And tomorrow, I'm going to teach you an ancient code of memory. An ancient code of memory used by some of history's geniuses. And for some of you, it'll be the highlight of this quest. And if you have challenges with numbers, it's going to give you a new perspective on numbers and how easy those numbers can be memorized. Okay, so where are we going to start? We've kind of already started with the sun list. Remember we used basic association to create the sun list? You have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To 20. Some of you actually built on that list. Remember that? You went to 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Some went to 30. And you could go up to like 31 flavors. You come up with these numbers, especially if you're into sports and you have, jerseys and stuff like that. So that was one way of prepping you for numbers. We also use that basic association to create the sun list to do the PEG method. So everything builds on everything else. So in this lesson, I want to give you another memory tool, because when you have more memory tools, you have more options, you have more flexibility, and you have more brain power, right? More memory power, if you will. Some people really build out the sun list, but what you could also do is to create more lists. You might ask, wow, I've been using the sun list a lot, and the home list, and my body list, and your office list, and you have all these different lists. And can I make more lists? Yes, I'm going to show you how to do that right now, and it has to do with numbers. So let's say you have a picture now. It's no longer abstract. You have pictures from the numbers 1 through 20, and that's your sun. What's after sun? Socks. What's after socks? Traffic light. Say it out loud. We can do this together. Number 4 is what? Car. Go ahead. Star. What else? Soda. Rainbow. Octopus. Cat. Toes. Skis. Remember that? Good. We're going to be using it in a little bit. What's after skis? Roses, witch, gold, money. What was 16? Candles. 17, magazine. 18 was what? Truck, 18 wheels. 19, golf, the 19th hole, which is the watering hole. It's the bar. And finally, number 20 was what? Fox, for 20th Century Fox. Now, what you can do, using what you already know, if you want to remember some simple numbers, like 3 or 4 digit numbers, is that you already have a picture of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have a picture from 1 through 9. And you can create a picture for 0. What could 0 be? 0 could be what? What does 0 look like? It looks like an egg, it could be a basketball, whatever you prefer, you have a picture for the digit 0. So 0, 1 through 9 you have covered. So if you want to memorize numbers, for instance, one of the things you can do with what you already know, not even building on what we're going to do today and tomorrow, is take those images and use those and make a chain link. So for example, if you are in a room, let's say you're given a number to memorize, maybe it's a time of day, whether it's 6:30, or maybe it's a room number. Maybe you're in 630 or 631 in your hotel room. All you have to do is really simple, is you already have a picture for this, right? You have a picture for 6. What's 6? It's soda, very good. What's 3? It's traffic light, very good. And you have a picture for 1? It's sun, 631. And so you have a picture, and you can make a chain link like we did: fire hydrant, balloon, battery, barrel, board, diamond, and so on. So what could you picture? 6, you picture soda. Great. Where are you pouring the soda? The 3 is what? Traffic light. You're pouring soda on traffic light, and then finally what's coming out of the traffic light is a big sun. And you could just do that, and you already have something built in. And besides having a tool that can help you memorize things, it's a great learning device. It helps to build your memory fitness. Remember, by doing it, it's forcing you to focus, it's forcing you to use your creativity, it's forcing you to use your imagination, your visualization. So all of that's going to help your memory. Those are good qualities and traits to develop to improve your memory. Now, you might ask, Jim, is it possible to get another list? Absolutely. What can you do? Create another basic association list. So this time you can make it like lookalike, like a visual list. So for example, the number 1 also, what does it look like? Number 1 could look like, say it out loud, it could look like a tree. What else? It could look like an antenna. What else can the number 1 look like? It looks like a cue stick or a sword. Anything that you want, pick one. Let's pick, for example, an antenna. So this is like your antenna list. We have a sun list, now we're gonna make an antenna list. And the only rule here is we're gonna make it all visual, meaning it looks like something else. That's the basic association. Remember, basic association, as you learned in a prior lesson, is making a logical association between two things to make it memorable. So for example, a 1 is an antenna because the basic association is they look alike. Number 2, what looks like the number 2? What does a 2 look like? Kind of looks like a swan, right? See the number 2, it looks like a swan. Very good. What's the number 3 look like? The 3 kind of looks like a heart, right? When you're typing, use the number 3 to make part of the heart. So you can use 3 as a heart. Some people say a 3 looks like handcuffs. Whatever you prefer, whatever you're into, use that. That's number 3. The 4, what does it look like? For me, it looks like a sailboat. 4 looks like a sail of a sailboat. What about number 5? What does 5 look like? Well, when I look at a 5, for me, I could see like one of those hooks for a shower curtain. Number 5 can look like Fred Flintstone. Honestly, I don't know why, but when I look at the number 5, it looks like Fred Flintstone to me. So now I have a picture for number 5. Easy to remember, right? Those numbers. What does 6 look like? 6 look like to me like an elephant's trunk. Like an elephant's trunk. Look at number 6. Very good. And you can come up with your own also. Whatever you come up with is better than what I come up with because you're likely to remember it better. Number 7, what does 7 look like? 7 looks like a hockey stick to me, right? 7, can you see that? Very good. Number 8, what can you picture for the number 8? 8, a visual association is what? A snowman? How about that? A snowman. Do you see that? Very good. Number 9, what does 9 look like? 9 could be a golf club. 9 could be maybe a balloon, with a string, like a string with a balloon at the end. Pick one for yourself. And how about number 10? A visual association of number 10 is what? For me, it's like a bat and a ball, right? 10, bat and a ball, and that's a visual association. What did we just do? We just created 10 more numbers for you, pictures for 10 more numbers. Now, can we go another direction? Absolutely. What do? We already did lookalikes, visual. That's a visual basic association. What about an auditory association? A sound-alike, like something that rhymes like it. So for example, let's do it together. 1 sounds like what? I say 1, you say bun, okay? So now this is your bun list. We have a sun list. We have an antenna list. All of a sudden we're creating a rhyme list. 1 is bun. And also, these are lists you could use for the PEG method. So number 1, bun. Number 2, what rhymes with 2? Shoes. And you have 2 shoes. That's a different association though. Number 3, tree. Number 4, what rhymes with 4? Door. Number 5, hive. Number 6, sticks. 7, heaven. 8, what rhymes with 8? Gate. 9, wine. And what rhymes with 10? Zen. Zen, that's perfect. So now all of a sudden, you have a sun list, you have an antenna list, and we just created in 30 seconds a bun list. So you see what we're doing here? The reason why numbers are difficult for a lot of people to memorize is because they're abstract. But you remember that the main principle is TIP, turn into a picture. So it's no longer abstract, it's something that's physical, something you could clearly imagine, and because you could clearly imagine it, you're more likely to remember it. So this is one basic way of memorizing numbers. So now you have these images for all these numbers, what can you do with it? Really simple. If you have, let's say, somebody's birthday happens to be July 11th, and you're always missing that birthday all the time, what do? Well, you have a picture for this. What's 7 on your sun list? What's 7 on your sun list? It's what? A rainbow. Fantastic. What's 11 on your sun list? It's skis. So all you have to imagine next time you want to remember this person's birthday, imagine they're skiing down the rainbow. And maybe they're holding a birthday cake to remind you of a birthday. And you're like, Jim, that's so silly, that's so childish. Who are the fastest learners? Children, right? And remember, these are all a means to an end. It's a way of encoding it so you could store it, then you could retrieve it back out. When you can encode it with emotion and visualization and silliness, you're more likely to remember it. And then it'll help you to remember, oh, birthday is July 11th, you'll remember it long term, and then the picture disappears. It was just a way of like a Trojan horse, putting it into your mind and having it stick. And then once you remember the data that you want to remember, like the date, the picture disappears. So let's say your anniversary is on January the 4th. What's that? January is the 1st, and then the 4, so it could be one of two things. You could either, number 1, it could be what? The antenna on that list, right? Number 1 is antenna on that list, and then the 4 was what? Sailboat. Fantastic. So imagine that you're going on your anniversary, you're celebrating your anniversary, and you're on the sailboat and you're each holding a what? A big antenna. And that reminds you of that. Or you could go to 14. What's 14 on your sun list? 14 is what? Gold, right? And so gold anniversary, 1-4. And you can make an association. And again, by doing this, you're training your brain, you're building your mental muscles and your memory improvement. And what you're doing is you're coding it in a way that you're going to remember it moving forward. So most people forget a birthday or forget an anniversary or forget a password and they have nowhere to go. It's just gone. But with this, you remember someone's birthday, you're like, oh, what were they doing on their birthday? Oh, I saw them with the birthday cake, and what were they doing? Skiing down the rainbow. So you have somewhere to go. Skiing, 11, rainbow, 7. 7-11, July 11th. So Superbrain, what's your homework assignment? I'm gonna ask you to do this. You could build out your sun list or your antenna list or your bun list and have fun with it and teach it to somebody else. Number 2 homework assignment is this, is start looking around at numbers and start translating those numbers into images and stories. What do I mean by that? Look around your environment and you see numbers. They might be dates. So if you like, for example, you could look at your family, look at their birth dates, and then code them into pictures. And remember, this is practice for something even bigger. Practice for something even bigger. So go look at some dates that are important to you that you might not remember. They could be birth dates, they could be anniversaries, they could be anything, even things that are coming up, and practice turning them into look-alike pictures. And then of course, as always, share your results back in the community with your tribe, because again, that's where a lot of the magic happens. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Tomorrow, we're gonna go deeper in numbers. I'm gonna teach you the ancient code for remembering numbers. I'll see you tomorrow.